Our generation stands at a moment unprecedented in human history. We live longer than any people before us, yet we have never truly learned how to use this extra life. Our understanding of aging is still rooted in the past. We treat it as a natural downhill slide, an unavoidable fate, a process we can only accept but never influence. But science is telling us a completely different story. Aging is not a punishment of time. It is the result of signals. What makes us grow old is not our age, but the aging signals our bodies receive. What keeps us young are the growth signals we send. This means something revolutionary. Aging is not an inevitable decline, it is a deviation that can be recalibrated. Once you understand this, your entire view of the body, emotions, the brain, and lifestyle begins to shift. You realize that getting old is not your body betraying you. It is your body faithfully executing the instructions you've been giving it. And those instructions can be changed. This article will help you rediscover why exercise is the oldest and most powerful anti-aging tool, why strength training matters far more than most people think, why mild hunger is the body's natural youth mode, why emotional engagement can reignite the brain, why optimism is not a personality trait but a biological state, why you can choose how you age as. This is not a motivational essay. It is a user manual for human life, grounded in evolutionary biology, neuroscience, and metabolic science. It reveals a simple but profound truth. Youth is not something behind you, it is something ahead of you. Not who you once were, but who you are becoming. If you are willing to start sending the right signals today, next year truly can be younger than this one. The truth of aging. In humanity's collective imagination, aging is almost synonymous with an irreversible downhill slide. From childhood, we are taught that the body naturally deteriorates over time. Muscles shrink, bones become brittle, memory blurs, emotions dull, and the radius of life grows smaller and smaller. It feels as if, from the age of 40 onward, life enters a slow but steady downward tunnel, like a train with failed brakes, unable to stop, unable to turn back. But science has never cared about human subjective feelings. It cares only about facts. And the fact is this: aging is not a product of time, but a product of signals. This may sound like a philosophical aphorism, but behind it stands the combined evidence of biology, evolutionary science, neuroscience, and clinical medicine. Why do we grow rapidly during puberty, yet begin to decline after menopause? During puberty, our bodies are like a city set ablaze. Hormones are the flames, neurotransmitters are the fuel, and cells work like construction crews day and night. Bones lengthen, muscles thicken, skin tightens, and cardiovascular capacity rises sharply. It is the period of life closest to infinite possibility. But after menopause, the body seems to switch to an entirely different script. Hormone levels drop, repair slows, metabolism becomes conservative, fat accumulates more easily, and muscle is lost more quickly. Many people first realize that aging is not an abstract concept, but a tangible physiological experience. Why does this happen? The research gives a very clear answer. Puberty is the peak of growth signals, while menopause marks the beginning of aging signals. This is not fate, it is evolution's design, evolution's code logic. Nature does not care about your longevity. From an evolutionary perspective, nature's goal has never been to make individuals immortal, but to ensure the continuation of the species. In other words, nature cares about reproduction, not longevity. When a person's value to the species declines around age 50, the body automatically initiates aging programs. This is not punishment, it is resource allocation. Throughout most of human evolutionary history, the average lifespan was only in the 30s, which means that for modern humans, living into their 50s or 60s is essentially serving beyond the intended design. The body was not built to remain at peak condition at this stage. But although evolution's logic is cold, it is not unchallengeable. We no longer live in the ancestral environment. We have medicine, nutrition, exercise, knowledge, and choices. Most importantly, we can actively send growth signals to the body instead of passively accepting aging signals. Growth signals versus aging signals. Your state is determined not by age, but by input. What counts as a signal? Exercise is a signal. Diet is a signal. Emotions are a signal. Sleep is a signal. Social interaction is a signal. Stress is a signal. Even your posture, breathing, and daily rhythm are signals. Together, these signals determine whether the body enters growth mode or aging mode. This explains a phenomenon we've all seen. Why are some 70-year-olds more energetic than some 40-year-olds? Why do some people age rapidly after retirement, while others grow younger? Why do people of the same age sometimes look like withered trees and sometimes like newly sprouted bamboo? Because the signals their bodies receive are completely different. Part 1. Exercise. Exercise is the oldest and most powerful anti-aging medicine in human evolution. Among all factors that influence aging, exercise is the strongest growth signal. It is not beneficial, not recommended, not something you should probably do. It is the number one variable that determines your quality of life in the next 10, 20, or 30 years. This is not an exaggeration, but the basic logic of biology. Why is exercise a growth signal? Because it is the oldest human survival behavior. To understand the power of exercise, we must go back hundreds of thousands of years to the era when humans were truly designed. Throughout evolutionary history, human life was extremely simple. Move, move, and move again. To find food, track prey, migrate, and gather, humans walked an average of 10-20 kilometers a day. Running, climbing, carrying, throwing, and jumping were everyday actions. Our muscles, bones, heart, lungs, and nervous system were shaped in this high-intensity, continuous movement environment. In other words, exercise is not an extra health activity. It is the condition the body requires to function normally. If you leave a sports car parked in a garage for too long, it rusts, ages, and breaks down. not because it is broken, but because it was designed to run, not sit still. The human body is the same. Modern life has created a condition that never existed in evolutionary history. Long periods of stillness. Sitting for long hours is not simply lack of exercise. It is a powerful biological signal. In evolutionary history, humans stayed still for long periods only in one situation: food shortage. When prey was scarce and resources limited, humans had to conserve energy and reduce activity to avoid burning too many calories. The body would automatically enter energy-saving mode, lower metabolism, reduce repair, store fat, weaken immunity, decrease hormone production, slow cell renewal. This is the physiological foundation of aging. The essence of exercise, creating micro damage to activate super repair. Exercise makes the body younger because it triggers a powerful mechanism: micro damage, repair, and super compensation. When you run, lift weights, swim, or cycle, muscle fibers develop tiny tears, bones experience pressure, and the heart and lungs are forced to work harder. These damages are not harmful. They are the signals the body is waiting for. Every micro damage triggers a repair. Every repair makes the body slightly stronger than before. This is why muscles grow stronger with use. Bones grow denser under pressure. Hearts and lungs improve with training. Nerves become more agile. Emotions stabilize with movement. Exercise is not expenditure, it is investment. It activates a biological program that only turns on during exercise: the massive release of growth factors. These growth factors repair cells, strengthen immunity, boost metabolism, enhance neural connections, increase mitochondria, improve hormone balance, reduce inflammation, slow aging. This is why exercise is the strongest growth signal. Scientific research. The effects of exercise are astonishing. A 5-year study of 10,000 men. Results show the most active men had only 1/3 the mortality rate of the least active. Men who started exercising after being inactive cut their 5-year mortality rate by 50%. What does this mean? It means that even if you start exercising today, you can dramatically change your health trajectory for the next decade. Exercise is not the earlier the better, but never too late. Another secret of exercise: it makes the body think you are young. Young bodies share a common pattern: high metabolism plus high repair plus high hormone levels plus high neural activity. Exercise mimics all of these. When you exercise, your body believes you are still in a phase where you need to hunt, run, and survive, so it automatically switches on the physiology of a young person. This is not psychological suggestion, it is biological mechanism. Strength training. Strength training. The second growth signal that brings the body back online. If aerobic exercise is the oldest survival behavior in human evolution, then strength training is the most overlooked yet most crucial rejuvenation tool for modern people. We often assume strength training is for the young, something only muscular gym goers do. But biologically, strength training is far more important for middle-aged and older adults than for the young. If young people skip strength training, the worst outcome is not building muscle. But if older adults skip strength training, the consequences are muscle loss, declining bone mass, slower metabolism, joint degeneration, reduced balance, higher risk of falling, shorter lifespan. In other words, strength training isn't about becoming strong, it's about not becoming weak. Muscle is the greatly underrated longevity organ. Traditionally, muscle is seen merely as a symbol of strength. Modern medicine tells us muscle is the body's largest metabolic organ. Pound for pound, muscle burns several times more energy than fat. More muscle means higher metabolism, better blood sugar control, lower inflammation, stronger immunity, more stable body weight, lower cardiovascular risk. Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, is considered one of the most dangerous signs of aging. It is not getting thinner, but getting weaker. Not losing weight, but losing vitality. In medical community, walking speed is one of the measures of physiological age. Fast walkers are biologically younger, slow walkers are biologically older. And the key determinant of walking speed is muscle. Scientifically, also proved, strength training is the only way to make our bones younger. Bones are not static structures, they are constantly renewing. Bone cells strengthen or weaken depending on the pressure placed on them. If you regularly load your bones, squats, deadlifts, stair climbing, weighted walking, they interpret this as I need to be strong and increase bone density. If you rarely load them sitting inactivity, bones interpret this as strength not needed and begin to weaken. This is why strength training is the most effective way to prevent osteoporosis. No medication can replace mechanical load. Post-menopausal women especially need strength training. Bone youthfulness depends on how much you use them. The logic of bones is simple. Use it or lose it. In addition, strength training is the best protector of our joints. Many people think joint pain comes from overuse. In reality, most joint pain comes from underuse. Joint fluid production requires movement. Tendons and ligaments need strength training to stay strong. Joint stability comes from surrounding muscles. If muscles are weak, joints take on too much load, leading to pain, wear, and degeneration. Strength training can increase joint fluid, strengthen tendons and ligaments, improve joint stability, reduce pain, slow degeneration. This is why, for many people with knee pain, the first prescription doctors give is not rest, but train your quadriceps. Balance. Strength training helps you stand steady, walk steady, and live longer. As we age, nerve response slows, muscle strength declines, and balance worsens. This is why falls are one of the leading causes of death in older adults. Strength training significantly improves balance because it enhances nerve-muscle connections, improves proprioception, increases reaction speed, strengthens core stability. Proprioception is a remarkable ability. It lets you know where your limbs are even with your eyes closed. It keeps you from falling in the dark. It helps you stay stable on uneven ground. Strength training is the most effective way to improve proprioception. The core of strength training, the quadriceps. The quadriceps are the top priority in strength training. They are the largest muscle group in the body and are responsible for walking, running, climbing stairs, descending stairs, standing up, sitting down, maintaining balance. Strengthening the quadriceps helps protect the knees, reduce fall risk, boost metabolism, improve posture, increase overall strength. Doing 3 to 4 sets of squats every day is one of the best ways to train them. Part 2. Nutrition. Nutrition is the second growth signal that keeps the body young. If exercise is the switch that activates the youth program, then nutrition is the fuel system that keeps that program running smoothly. It doesn't produce instant results like exercise, but it works like a slow, deep river shaping the body's internal environment day after day. Modern people misunderstand nutrition deeply. We think nutrition means eating well, getting enough nutrients, or eating more is harmless. But from an evolutionary perspective, the essence of nutrition is not more, but right. The human body is better adapted to mild hunger than to excess food. This idea almost overturns modern dietary culture. Why is mild hunger a growth signal? Throughout human evolution, food supply was never stable. Food scarcity was normal. Fullness was rare. Thus, the body was designed to be most active, alert, and capable in a state of mild hunger. Mild hunger triggers a series of physiological responses: improved metabolic efficiency, enhanced cellular repair, increased insulin sensitivity, activation of autophagy, reduced inflammation, improved mitochondrial function. Together, these create a useful physiological state. In other words, mild hunger is the body's youth mode. But in modern society, we almost never allow the body to enter this mode. Overeating, the most hidden aging signal of modern life. People today eat too much, too often, and too refined. Beyond 3 meals, there are snacks, drinks, desserts, and late-night food. The body rarely enters repair mode because it is constantly processing food. Overeating sends a series of aging signals: chronically elevated insulin, fat accumulation, increased inflammation, reduced cellular repair, lower metabolic efficiency, hormonal imbalance. These changes don't appear overnight. They show up as diseases 10 or 20 years later. This is why modern chronic illnesses are so common: diabetes, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver, obesity, metabolic syndrome. They are not diseases, but signal errors. Whole foods versus processed foods. Structure determines destiny. Whole foods are low entropy foods, while processed foods are high entropy foods. What does that mean? In physics, entropy represents disorder. Whole foods have clear, orderly complex structures products of millions of years of evolution. They contain intact fiber, stable nutrient structures, slow-release energy, diverse micronutrients. These qualities allow the body to absorb and metabolize them smoothly. Processed foods, however, are structurally damaged, fiber removed, sugars refined, fats hydrogenated, nutrients separated, additives added. Once inside the body, they cause rapid energy spikes, insulin surges, and metabolic chaos. In short, whole foods keep the body young. Processed foods accelerate aging. Free sugar, one of the strongest aging signals. Free sugar includes table sugar, syrups, fruit juice, soft drinks, desserts, sweetened coffee, sweetened yogurt. Their common trait is that they are absorbed extremely fast. When free sugar enters the bloodstream, insulin spikes rapidly. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, fat accumulation, increased inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, cellular aging. This is why free sugar is called liquid tobacco. Its harm is not immediate. It accumulates slowly. Unsaturated fat. Unsaturated fat is the body's clean fuel. Fat is not the enemy. The real issue is not eating fat, but which fat. Unsaturated fats found in fish, nuts, olive oil, avocados, plant oils are the body's preferred fuel. They can reduce inflammation, boost metabolism, improve cardiovascular health, stabilize blood sugar, support hormone balance. Trans fats and highly processed saturated fats, however, accelerate aging. Whole grains, vegetables, fruits, the foundation of long-term health. These foods share key traits: intact structure, rich fiber, high nutrient density, slow energy release. They don't spike blood sugar or overstimulate insulin. They are the body's most stable and reliable fuel sources. Vitamin supplements can never replace real food. Food is not a collection of nutrients, but a complex ecosystem. Part 3. Emotional engagement. Emotional engagement is the third growth signal that keeps both the brain and body young. If exercise makes the body younger and nutrition makes the cells younger, then emotional engagement is the key to keeping the brain young. This is the part most people overlook. We tend to think of health as a physical matter, but modern neuroscience tells us the state of the brain determines the speed of the body. A person whose emotions have withered will age rapidly. A person whose emotions are vibrant will naturally stay young. This is not inspirational talk, it is neurobiology. The brain is not a logic machine, but an emotion machine. The human brain has 3 layers. 1. Instinctive brain, reptilian brain, survival, breathing, heartbeat. 2. Emotional brain, feelings, connection, belonging. 3. Rational brain, prefrontal cortex, logic, judgment, planning. We often assume the rational brain is the most important, but in reality, the emotional brain is the brain's operating system. It determines whether we feel like taking action, whether we want to learn, whether we want to socialize, whether we take care of ourselves, whether we maintain hope. If the emotional brain shuts down, the rational brain is like a computer with no power. No matter how powerful, it cannot function. This is why people with depression know exercise is good and healthy eating matters, yet cannot act on it. It's not lack of effort, their brain lacks the activation signal. Emotional connection, the oldest human survival mechanism. Throughout evolution, humans were social animals. Loneliness meant danger, predators, lack of resources, vulnerability. So the brain treats connection as a survival signal. When we connect with others, the brain releases oxytocin, safety, trust, dopamine, motivation, anticipation, serotonin, stability, satisfaction, endorphins, pleasure, relaxation. Emotional resonance, one of humanity's most mysterious abilities. A fascinating phenomenon is the limbic system has the ability to resonate emotionally. This means humans influence each other's emotions. Animals and humans can synchronize emotionally. Even plants respond to emotional states via chemical signals. This is biology, not mysticism. When you're near someone warm, stable, and positive, your brain automatically mirrors their emotional pattern. When you're near someone anxious, angry, or pessimistic, your brain synchronizes with that too. This explains why good relationships make you younger. Bad relationships make you older. Warm families promote longevity. Cold environments accelerate aging. Emotions are not feelings, they are signals. 3 ways to keep the brain young through emotional engagement. 1. Play, the instinct of all mammals. Play is not just for children. All mammals play, puppies chase their tails, kittens pounce on shadows, dolphins chase each other, monkeys wrestle. The essence of play is keeping the brain flexible, keeping the nervous system agile, keeping the emotional system active. The less adults play, the stiffer the brain becomes. The more adults play, the younger the brain stays. 2. Connection. Hugs, touch, presence. Physical touch is the oldest emotional language. A single hug can lower stress hormones, boost immunity, and stabilize heart rate. Presence doesn't require words. Sometimes simply sitting together is a growth signal. 3. Solitude. Connecting with yourself. Solitude is not loneliness. Solitude is a skill. It allows you to process emotions, clear your thoughts, restore energy, hear your inner voice, rediscover yourself. Only those who can be at peace with themselves can be at peace with the world. Increased evidence suggested that brain is the organ that determines your true age. If the aging of the body is visible, the aging of the brain is invisible. It doesn't appear suddenly like wrinkles, nor does it change overnight like gray hair. It is more like a slowly shifting river, quietly changing course, until one day you suddenly realize your memory isn't as sharp, your reactions are slower, your emotions fluctuate more easily, and learning new things feels harder. But science tells us brain aging is not irreversible. More importantly, the speed of brain aging is far more controllable than we imagine. Brain aging comes at 2 dimensions: cognitive decline and psychomotor decline. These two seem similar, but they are fundamentally different. Cognitive decline. The aging we are most familiar with. Cognitive abilities include memory, attention, comprehension, judgment, learning ability. When these decline, we say, "I'm getting old." But cognitive decline is usually slow and gradual. It doesn't immediately affect quality of life, just makes you feel not as sharp as before. Psychomotor decline, the most dangerous form of aging. Psychomotor abilities include balance, coordination, reaction speed, swallowing ability, gait stability. Once these decline, the consequences can be catastrophic. Falls, fractures, choking, pneumonia, long-term bed rest, rapid deterioration. There is a harsh saying in medicine, a fall is the turning point in an elderly person's life. Not because of the fall itself, but because it reveals a deeper truth. The brain's psychomotor system has already begun to deteriorate. How to keep the brain young? 5 key strategies. 1. Exercise. Super nutrition for the brain. 2. Continuous learning, keeping the brain plastic. 3. Careful use of medication. 4. Sleep, the brain's cleaning crew. 5. Social interaction, the brain's favorite stimulation. Part 4. Optimism, the most underrated yet most powerful growth signal. If exercise, nutrition, and emotional engagement are the external behaviors that make the body and brain younger, then optimism is the internal engine that makes life as a whole younger. In modern society, optimism is often misunderstood as a personality trait, as if some people are born with it and others are not. But science tells us optimism is not a personality trait. It is a physiological state. It can be trained, cultivated, and used to reshape the body's chemical environment. More importantly, optimism itself is a growth signal. Why does optimism extend lifespan? The science is harder than you think. Optimism is not simply thinking positively. Behind it lies an entire neurobiological system. When a person remains optimistic, the brain releases dopamine, motivation and anticipation, serotonin, stability and satisfaction, oxytocin, trust and connection, endorphins, relaxation and pleasure. Together, these chemicals create a young brain mode. In other words, optimism is not psychological, it is biological. Pessimism, a chronic toxin. Pessimism is not overthinking, it is a prolonged stress state. It keeps the body stuck in fight or flight mode. This mode is useful short-term, but long-term it causes poor sleep, weakened immunity, increased inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, higher cardiovascular risk, accelerated brain atrophy. This is why pessimistic people get sick more easily, recover more slowly, and live shorter lives. Not because they think too much, but because their bodies stay in the wrong physiological mode. How to cultivate optimism. 3 practical methods. 1. Hobbies. The simplest and most effective growth signal. Do things that engage you, not things that distract you. Modern people often confuse entertainment with happiness. Scrolling short videos or social media creates brief excitement but not real joy. Real happiness comes from activity engagement such as exercise, learning, crafts, music, gardening, cooking, act. Simply speaking, any activity that makes you lose track of time. Remember, hobbies bring joy, and joy keeps you young. 2. Maintain social connection, not social noise. Socializing is not knowing many people, but having genuine connections with a few. Research shows people with stable social ties live longer. People in close relationships have lower stress. People with friends recover faster. People with companionship have younger brains. Socializing is not activity, it is connection. 3. Maintain hope, not fantasy. Hope is not things will get better, but I can make things better. Hope is an action signal. It triggers dopamine and puts the body into a ready-to-act state. This is why hopeful people are healthier and live longer. Conclusion: aging is inevitable, but how you age is a choice. When we look at exercise, nutrition, emotional engagement, brain health, and optimism together, a striking truth emerges. Aging is not a single process. It is the cumulative result of many signals. And youth is not a single state, it is the combined product of many signals. In other words, aging is not fate, but a pattern. Youth is not a miracle, but a mechanism. The true value of this article is not teaching you how to extend lifespan, but how to extend vitality. We have misunderstood aging for too long. We assume aging is caused by time marks carved by the years. But science tells us wrinkles are caused by collagen loss, not time. Muscle loss is caused by disuse, not age. Osteoporosis is caused by a lack of mechanical stress, not destiny. Memory decline is caused by reduced neural connections, not inevitability. Emotional decline is caused by neurotransmitter imbalance, not natural law. None of these are the fault of age. They are the result of signals, and signals can be changed. In the past, people rarely lived past 50. There was no concept of life after midlife. Today, many of us may live to 80, 90, even 100. This is why we need a new understanding of aging, one based on science, not fear, on choice, not fate. It is true that you cannot choose whether you age, but you can choose the speed at which you age, the way you age, the posture with which you age, the mindset with which you age, the quality of life you age into. You can choose to be older next year or to be younger next year. Youth is not a number, it is a direction. It's not how old you are, but where you are heading. If you are exercising, eating well, sleeping well, learning, socializing, staying hopeful, staying engaged, staying connected, then you are becoming younger, whether you are 30, 50, 70, or even 90. Because youth is not the past, it is the future. Not who you were, but who you are becoming. This is the end of this article. Thanks for listening.